we just literally had 2 birds fly directly into the grill of the car and bounce off like bullets off of a war tank.
No, I didn't see it happen. I just heard it. And then I heard Wade get really excited about it, which is kind of scary.
Jeremy was like, I don't know what that means. And I was like, I'll tell you what it means. Because in high school, I ran over a bird on my way to a baseball game. And that night I ended up hitting 3 home runs in 2 games. So it's a good thing. So we just killed 2 birds with 1 car. We're getting double the luck here.
We didn't try to hit the bird. We stopped for some ducks riding across the road.
It's a Drake mallard. I know that because I used to kill them and eat their souls.
Wade just liked it a lot. Honestly, a little worried about Wade.
I know there's a lot of dead mosquitoes on here splattered, but you can definitely, I'm pretty sure that's a bird skid right there.
Explain that we didn't purposely hit the bird.
No, we hit it on purpose. I told Jeremy, floor it, fucking get some dinner here. Eat crow, as they say.
Like, that's some psychopathic behavior. He was really happy that we killed 2 birds.
We're going to Indianapolis right now. We're doing a show at an open mic. The joys of doing shows.
Wade seems aggressive on stage, and now that I know him in real life, I know he is twice as aggressive.
So far, this whole tour, Wade has been in fucking dad mode.
You got a key card?
No, but yes.
How am I supposed to put the fucking keys in there?
Just knock on the door, I don't know.
Wade rage, is that like a thing now?
Believe it or not, it's better than it was. When I played high school baseball, if I struck out, I'd slam a baseball bat against my head while wearing a helmet. You know where I get frustrated? This is why I get frustrated when you come up and be like, hey, what do you think about this? A lot of times it's, if somebody said something counteractive to that, it's like nobody's communicating with each other. So I get frustrated the fact that I hear 2 different things and it's like, okay, what one do you want me to do? Because nobody's fucking talking to each other.
I think there's a bit of happiness in the anger for him, which makes me like happy to see it.
You gotta start talking to each other at some point, right, Wade? Yeah. Wade, maybe next time you should be excited that I began that process of talking to each other. Yeah. You should be like, good job, man. You've started the talking to each other part. Let's work on it.
Because it's when you see somebody enjoying their anger, or even genuine annoyance, like that little piece of them that's like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just enjoy it and let it come out. That's the shit I like.
I actually sometimes feel nice and cozy when I'm angry. It reminds me of my childhood and just burying my face in my pillow, trying to not hear my parents scream at each other.
Some people have an attitude that we are skipping steps, we're just bypassing a lot of stuff that you should have to work your way up the ladder to do, as if this is some sort of corporation or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, no. If we're good enough, the market will let us know. Because we'll know by whether or not they laugh and want us back. And if you know anything about business, it's yes, you have to be good at stuff. That's by default. If you want to succeed, you need to be good at something. But at the end of the day, it's not how good you are, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And what this does is allows us to skip having to know people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, you have to go through the proper channel.
Yeah, you got to suck up to the right people.
And it's like, come on, man.
Well, and so what this does for us is we get to say, screw that. I'm going to cold call, create our own tour. We're going to cold call, set up our own events, build our own relationships, build our own thing. And the market will let us know if we're not funny enough, which, as far as we can tell, we're funny enough and we're having a great time. I think the thing that we have, and everybody that's taken this risk with us, going for us, is that I'm not afraid of failing. Like, I'm not afraid of it going bad.
Dude, how can you be afraid of failing when this is all you do to figure out if jokes work anyway?
Yeah.
I played baseball, man. You fail 70% of the time.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at joke writing, too, is like 2 out of the 10 things I write down ever are work and are funny on stage. I win.
A lot of my fearless confidence when it came to the stuff that I am now somewhat skilled at was due to my dad's delusional belief in me when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Had he not given me that delusion, had he not been delusional about my abilities, I wouldn't have been able to, I don't think I'd be making a living at it.
Yeah, but like my dad, like I told him going on this tour, my dad's like, "Pal, that's awesome. That's fucking great. I'm so glad that you're doing something you want to do." My dad was, and it's also because I watched my dad become a pro golfer, like the only guy from Council Bluffs to ever play in a PGA championship. Yeah. Like nobody else has done that. And everybody told me he never would, so it's like, I've seen what you can do if you just keep trucking along and putting in the work.
And if we didn't have the ability to be like, fuck it, we'll be good enough when we go and do this, and then we'll get better as we're doing it, we'd never do anything.
Matt Lamb farted for like a good, like literally a good 6 seconds this morning.
I was very happy with myself because I'd been waiting all day. I didn't want to fart in the car, so I'd been holding in all of my farts. So I just let out probably a good 6 or 7 long second fart, all one note, which was very just impressive to me. It was an accomplishment as a personal achievement and just as a performer and a musician. I haven't shit in 3 days. That's something I noticed. If I die, it's fine. I don't give a shit. I died doing something that I love, I guess.
Probably couldn't tell by this shirt and this facial hair, I am in fact a gay man. That's a fun thing for me. I'm gay from Iowa, which is not exactly the easiest, but somebody actually asked me, like, oh, like being gay in the Midwest, is that hard? And I was like, actually not really. Have you seen our women?
Perry's killing it on the salesman game. I haven't sold a fucking bottle yet. I've been sitting by the merch, and I'm not in dad mode. I look like a pretty approachable dude, but obviously I gotta do something if people are not buying shit from me.
You wanna try it? It's delicious. I won't like these next days.
I was asking him in the car, I was like, Perry, what is your motives for selling all this hot sauce? And his response was, it's like a side quest in a video game. He doesn't sound like that. That is the worst Perry impression ever.
To Mitch Downs is up here.
Yeah. Just a ghost pepper? Or?
It's one of those things where it's like, this is why you absolutely love him. In contrast to the times where you're like, what the fuck, man?
I think Perry did something super smart where it's like, I know what those hot sauces taste like, but Perry, like I've tested them all, but when Perry tested them, he like got into the test. Like he was like, okay, how do I describe this? How do I get into this like hot sauce? Like how do I get in the mind of this hot sauce? How do I make sure that I know what this hot sauce is all about so he can tell people about it? And he's just been nailing it.
And then going up there and killing also helps sales too.
Come buy some hot sauce from me.
I didn't have a panic attack, fortunately, but I started to about pass out right before I went on stage. I saw a lady post on Facebook that she weaned her daughter off vaccines. I was like, I don't think you understand how vaccines work. They literally inject like a dead version of the virus into your body, programming your body basically to kill the virus. That's like with you for life. To say you wean yourself off vaccines is like meeting someone with HIV who says they've weaned themselves off HIV, and you're like, well, how'd you do that? And they go, well, I stopped going to doctors, so they stopped telling me I have HIV.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Jeremy's getting a bit run down and exhausted with all this, but he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, and he doesn't ask for help, which is weird because you have 5 other people here who could help out, but Jeremy's just taking it all on himself, being kind of stubborn in that aspect.
And I've been really tired too during my sets just because we're the ones who's driving everywhere. So when you're that's driving, you always have to be like locked in while everyone else is sleeping in the car.
I am giving away as much responsibility as I feel I'm capable of. The problem is that means the rest of the time I just have to throw a mountain on my shoulder and carry it.
I don't know if he knows what energy drinks are, but I gotta get him a couple and just let him shotgun them. I think he's always scared to take any kind of thing that'll boost his energy because like he's already so goddamn high energy. It's gonna send me through the moon, and I'm not gonna be able to stop talking. I'm gonna go freak out. And I think he thinks he's gonna combust if he drinks any kind of caffeine.
Jeremy Scavo, everybody, the only guy I know who uses cocaine as a downer.
Got to the venue. I was in a weird funk. Like as soon as we walked in there, it just kind of got a weird vibe out of the place.
I don't think they fully understood what we were going to be doing. And then after we got on stage, all of us, I think that we finally have hit our stride. We've gotten comfortable and used to the travel and all the mechanics that are going into this. And so we were able to actually just focus on being funny.
Recently got caught up on the Ted Bundy tapes on Netflix. You guys seen that? Yeah. That dude started a family on death row. Had a kid and a wife on death row. Now every time I see a comedian come up and talk about how he's single, I'm like, fucking loser. Even Ted Bundy had a family.
I think the equipment and how much we were putting on caught them by surprise, probably.
The name Matt's an old Hebrew name. For those of you who don't know, it's a fun fact. You can share it with your friends named Matt. It's an old Hebrew name. It roughly translates to gift from God. Could be worse. My little brother, his name's Chris. Chris is a Greek name. That name roughly translates to oops. Any Chris's here tonight? Chris's? Sorry, man. You ever applaud to being an accident child?
At the 1949, it's an open mic. I like it because it's just very homey. 16?
Yeah.
And then my lesbian girlfriend down there. He's so gay.
I specifically enjoy doing this show every single week because I typically see a regular every single week, so I can't do the same joke. So it's kind of like just that process of coming up with an idea, getting it to stage, and then like hearing people laugh.
I was in LA when Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner. Like, he was an Olympian. He was basically like the Michael Jordan of the Olympics. And then all of a sudden, all his daughters and his wife are more famous than he is. He's like, bitch, you think you can be famous? I'll show you how to be a woman. I'll be an Olympic woman. I'll take over this entire show.
We've built up a good audience of not only locals and regulars, but we've also brought in some of the best comics from Indy that they get to see every week for free.
I'm glad I'm here and not actually in 1949. One of the locals told me you guys weren't too nice to black people back then. It's all right. It's all right. We're coming back. There's a whole 3 of us in the crowd. We're taking over. We're back to fuck your women. After the show, I talked with a guy and he was like, this town is called Beach Grove. We used to call it Bleach Grove because exactly what you said.
Previous 2 nights of the tour, I was playing guitar, and then last night I decided I'm gonna go without the guitar. Last night I went in without it, and I was able to, get through, get good laughs, have a good time, and also feel that I accomplished a good set without having to play my guitar.
Fun fact, Kellogg's Corn Flakes were invented by Dr. Kellogg because he was trying to make little kids stop jerking off as much. It's a true Googleable fact. He thought that sugar cereals were making them too wound up, so he wanted to make something like so bland that they wouldn't have any energy to jerk off. Which I can kind of see his point, because anytime that I eat Frosted Flakes, I want to fuck Tony the Tiger real bad. But I feel like it's not my fault. He's got them huge football player shoulders, and he's probably got that V thing that dudes, and a thick blue dick. So I don't think it's my fault, guys. They need to stop making cereal mascots so fucking hot.
Yeah, I do have a bit where I mentioned Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Wade is up a couple spots before me, and he has a joke where it also mentions Stone Cold, and he got a lot of fucking laughs on it.
I used to plan weddings, and that shocks a lot of you. It shocked my clients too. No woman was happy to walk into a room and see me hey, I'm here to plan your wedding. I look like I know more about pyrotechnics than I do about centerpieces. They had the right to judge, though. I get it. Because they were just afraid I'm going to pitch some really dumb dude ideas. Which I totally did. Who doesn't want to walk out to Stone Cold Steve Austin's entrance music at your wedding? Your bride just shattering beers, downing them. I get to wander down and stunner my father-in-law. That's how you kick off a fucking reception. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! God, that makes me feel fucking cool.
I was like, dude, I'm doing this bit tonight, but he did it anyway, so I had to tweak mine and mention The Rock, and it still worked because I'm an awesome fucking comic.
I read recently that poor people are 75% more likely to smoke cigarettes than anyone else. No shit. You ever been poor? It's fucking stressful. Could use a smoke. What are they gonna say next? Oh, poor people take more naps. No shit, because sometimes in our dreams we have money. I had a dream last week that I found $5,000 underneath my wrestling ring. Me and The Rock just fucking laughed about it. I was like, The Rock, $5,000, can you believe it? And The Rock was like, nah, is my alarm. And it woke me up. Oh, I was so pissed. You wake up after having a dream that you're rich, the money's in your hand, and you wake up no! Digging under my pillow I just fucking had it. pull it out like in Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, where you can pull Freddy into the real world? I wish I could do that with Cash.
Even though I was kind of in a weird funk thinking this show might not be the best, it actually turned out to be one of the best.
Once we performed and everyone received our performance pretty well, they just seemed cool after that and thanked us for coming and everything. And it was great.
One comic gave me a fucking business card.
Oh, I've got several.
Yeah, I've got one.
Ben, I've never seen this before. Ben Pelosi.
Oh, Ben, he's given me one too.
I got
He's
Jacqueline Metcalf.
Yeah.
I've got.
What?
She was really funny.
Oh, she's a graphic designer too.
Yep.
I've got business cards, but I forgot my business cards.
Oh my gosh.
As soon as we got on stage, we blew them away just like I knew we would, because fucking Des Moines Pride, we went there and we killed it. And everybody turned out to be super nice. Like, there's definitely a little of, it's always kind of weird going into other people's territory and you don't know them and they don't know you, but I think we went there and they ended up being very hospitable towards us towards the end of the night.